Hey guys, Gizmodic here, and if you've been a long time subscriber of this channel, you must be knowing that I'm not a big fan of Samsung phones. But actually that's about to change with the Galaxy S10 Lite. So I've had this phone for the last 5 to 6 months, and this is actually one of the best Samsung phones that you can buy in India right now. If you're confused between the Galaxy Note 10 Lite and the S10 Lite, I'm telling you right away, close your eyes and just buy the S10 Lite. The Note 10 Lite is not worth it. So today I'm gonna give you guys my long-term review of the Galaxy S10 Lite. I'll tell you guys the pros, the cons of this phone, and at the end of this video, you guys can decide whether you want to buy this phone or not. So let's get started with my review of the Galaxy S10 Lite. But if you're here for the first time, then consider subscribing to the channel and pressing the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload videos like these. Let's get started with the video now. So the major reason why I don't like Samsung phones in India is the fact that they try to push their Exynos processors in almost all of their phones. From their basic mid-range phones to their flagship phones, everything has Exynos, and the Galaxy S10 Lite is an exception. On this phone you get the Snapdragon 855, which is a much better chip than any of the Exynos processor that Samsung sells in India. Actually, the Galaxy S20 and the S20 Ultra, which have the Exynos 990, I would actually prefer the 855 over those chipsets. So 855 is a flagship chip, and this is one of the best performing phones from Samsung in India. If I talk about the day-to-day performance, this phone just flies through it. You've got 8GB of RAM on the base variant. There is 128GB of storage as well. It's UFS 2.1 storage, so it's not as fast as the OnePlus 7T with UFS 3.0, but still, this phone is very quick when it comes to opening apps. The memory management is really good, and I've got no problems with multitasking and in my daily usage. So yeah, Snapdragon 855 is a great choice. I'm happy that Samsung went with it because even when it comes to gaming, this phone is top notch. Initially, I was facing some frame drops with PUBG when this phone was new, but later on with the latest PUBG updates, the problem on the 855 series has been resolved. On the S10 Lite as well as on the K20 Pro, I haven't seen much frame drops. So now you can play PUBG on Smooth Plus Extreme on this phone, and it should give you between 50 to 60 FPS, which is great. So yeah, with the Snapdragon 855, the performance is really good. Performance gets a massive bump on the Galaxy S10 Lite, and another area where you see the benefits is in terms of battery life. The Exynos chips are not that battery efficient, but on the Galaxy S10 Lite, you've got 4500 mAh of battery, and you've got the 7nm plus 855. So because of that, I get a really good battery life. I get at least 6.5 hours of screen on time on the Galaxy S10 Lite, which is great. On the OnePlus 7T, I could get roughly around 5.5 hours. So you easily get 1 hour more on the Galaxy S10 Lite. Plus you've got a 25-watt charging adapter inside the box, so you can top this phone up from 0 to 100% in roughly 65 to 67 minutes. So the battery will easily last you for 1.5 days, and the charging is also very quick, so you don't really have to worry about these problems. But that's not my favorite part about the phone. What I really like on the Galaxy S10 Lite is the display. I actually really like it, and I also dislike it for one particular reason. So I'm going to tell you why I like it. So the display on the Galaxy S10 Lite is a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display, and this is an HDR10 certified display. The display quality is absolutely gorgeous. Samsung puts the best displays on their smartphones, and even on this display, the viewing angles, the colors, the deep blacks, everything is beautiful, and watching content on this phone is a great experience. You've got wideband L1 support, you can get Full HD in Amazon Prime, and Netflix also has the HDR10 certification. So when you watch HDR content, I really like this display. I'm showing you some videos side by side with the OnePlus 8, and I really like the colors, the skin tones that you see on the Galaxy S10 Lite's display. So Samsung has put in a really beautiful panel on this phone. You've got a punch hole notch here, and the only thing that I don't like about this display is the fact that it is only 60 Hz. I'm used to 90 and 120 Hz displays now, so 60 Hz is not bad, but I wish Samsung would have given a 90 Hz display. That would have made this phone the best display phone in this price bracket. 90 Hz with that quality of display would have been great, but I can understand maybe they didn't give 90 Hz because they would have to sacrifice with the display quality. I don't know, but that's one thing that I didn't like about this display. But when you talk about the actual quality of the display, it's 10 on 10 in this price segment. This display also gets an in-display fingerprint sensor. So it's an optical sensor, it's not an ultrasonic sensor, and I really like that. The ultrasonic sensors are a headache on the S20 series when you install a tempered glass or a screen protector. So on the S10 Lite, I'm happy they've chosen the optical sensor. It easily works, it's very fast, it's very quick, it's accurate, and you also get face unlock if you want to use it. But now let's move on to the back side of the phone where we get the triple camera setup. So Samsung has given you a 48 megapixel primary sensor. After that you've got a wide angle lens, and then you've got a macro lens which is decent, and this camera also supports optical image stabilization. If I talk about the image quality from this phone, I'm showing you some samples side by side on the OnePlus 8 and the S10 Lite, and initially, to be honest, I thought the S10 Lite would not perform that great because we've seen these sensors on the Samsung budget phones too. But actually, surprisingly, the camera on the Galaxy S10 Lite is really good. As you can see side by side with the OnePlus 8, in daylight, the processing on the S10 Lite is great. The HDR processing is surprisingly good, and you can see that the highlights, the shadows, everything is put out very well in the photo. In fact, in some photos, the OnePlus 8 is very contrasty, whereas the overall dynamic range has been pretty good on the Galaxy S10 Lite. Even in low lighting conditions, when I took a couple of samples with the S10 Lite, the performance was more or less on par with the OnePlus 8 and if not better. The only area where this camera did mess up a little bit is in the indoor conditions. As you can see this photo of my computer, it is red, but for some reason the camera has completely, messed up the colors and it's coming out to be pink. I tried taking this photo multiple times and all the times I got a pink output, so I didn't understand why this is happening indoors. Probably it's just over processing the image. But the good part is, because you've got Snapdragon 855, you can have Google camera on this phone. I'll link the Google camera down there, but here's a sample from the stock camera and then with Google camera, and Google camera fixes all of these processing issues that you see on the Galaxy S10 Lite. So yeah, the camera performance is really good, plus the fact that you can have GCam makes up for an overall complete camera experience. As I had said before, you also get optical image stabilization here, so I'm playing a video sample with the OnePlus 8 and with the Galaxy S10 Lite. It's a 4K 30fps sample, so you guys can look at it and let me know which phone did you find better when it comes to the quality, the image stabilization, and so on. Lastly, if I talk about the front facing camera, it's decent, especially when you're taking photos outdoors. The HDR processing is great. But what I didn't like is that the skin tones sometimes come out to be a little pale than how they actually are. So that is one thing that I have a complaint with selfies when it comes to Samsung phones. But you can compare it with the OnePlus 8 and decide it for yourself. Overall, it's not the best camera in this price segment, but it's really good. And for 90% of the people, I think it's gonna do more than enough for everyday picture taking. Moving on, let's talk about the software experience, and it's actually been really great on the Galaxy S10 Lite. So this phone runs on OneUI 2.1 as of when I'm making this video, and it's based on Android 10. I'm on the June security patch right now, so it's fairly latest, and Samsung has been actually regularly pushing updates on this phone. I've experienced OneUI before on Samsung's budget phones, and the experience on the Galaxy S10 Lite was much better because you've got flagship level hardware here. The phone flies through day-to-day performance. OneUI 2.1 has actually been buttery smooth on this phone. The memory management is really good. Plus you get a lot of features like gestures, and then you have dual apps, you've got call recording. So all the basic features that you would want in a phone, you've got it here. Plus it's really smooth and stable. I haven't faced any app crashes or any major lags or slowdowns. Overall, the animations are also really smooth and fluid. So the phone is very quick when it comes to navigating between apps and everything, and the day-to-day experience has been really smooth. I've got no complaints with it. I did face issues with OneUI on their budget phones, but on the Galaxy S10 Lite and especially on my Galaxy S20 and the S20 Ultra, the overall experience has been great and I've got nothing to complain about. I just hope that Samsung provides regular updates as they have been doing, and they are also quick when it comes to the Android version update. So I hope that when the Android 11 update comes out, this phone gets it pretty quickly. Apart from that, I've got no complaints with OneUI. You guys are gonna like the user experience and you're not gonna complain about it because you don't get any ads here, neither do you get any annoying Clean Master apps or anything like that. So good job Samsung, the UI experience has been very good according to me. But then finally, the only thing that I absolutely did not like about this phone is the build quality. The Galaxy S10 Lite has a price tag of 40,000 rupees and Samsung gives you a glass-stick build quality on this phone. Now if you don't understand what glass-stick is, glass-stick basically is a plastic body which looks like glass. So you've got a very reflective type of plastic back here, but it's basically plastic. This phone is completely made out of plastic. and I did not like that. I'm paying 40,000 rupees, phones with half the price tag get metal or glass bodies now, so I don't understand why Samsung is cutting costs here. And the thing with this plastic back is that, especially on this black color, it's very prone to fingerprints. So as soon as you touch the phone, you will get ton of fingerprints on this phone. Plus it can get scratched very easily too. So it's not a very strong back, it's not a very confidence inspiring build quality. So you should always use this with a case, otherwise you're gonna scratch it within days and it's not going to be a pleasant experience. So I did not like the build quality of this phone, and I hope that with the Galaxy S20 Lite, Samsung at least brings a metal build quality if not glass. So yeah, the build quality is kind of a downer on this phone, and if I talk about the form factor, this phone is huge. It's got a 6.7 inch display and it's pretty wide and it's very squarish. So if you don't like big phones, you might actually find this a little bit uncomfortable to hold in your hand. It's not a heavy phone, it's just that it's pretty wide and the corners are sharp. So when I was playing PUBG on this phone, it was not a very pleasant experience initially, and I did take some time to get used to it. Just go to a Samsung store first, experience the phone, and then decide if you want to buy it or not. And if I give you guys a physical overview about the S10 Lite, you've got the power and the volume buttons on the right hand side. The bottom has the microphone, the loudspeaker, and the Type-C port. On the left hand side, you've got a SIM card tray, and then on the top you also have another microphone. So this phone does not get stereo speakers, unfortunately. Almost every phone in this price bracket is now offering that. So I wish to see that in the next version of the Galaxy S10 Lite. And you also don't have a headphone jack. I don't know why Samsung did that. The Galaxy Note 10 Lite has a headphone jack, but the S10 Lite unfortunately does not have it. Can't really help it, but Samsung does give you a pair of earphones inside the box, so that's great. The call quality and network reception was also great on the Galaxy S10 Lite. I didn't face any problems with the Wi-Fi or the 4G signal. Talking about 4G, dual VoLTE is supported. Plus you also get Wi-Fi calling on both of the SIM cards, so that is also great. So all of those things you don't have to worry about. Call quality, network reception, everything has been top notch on the Galaxy S10 Lite. So then ultimately the question is, should you buy the Galaxy S10 Lite or not? So if you see the pricing of this phone right now, it's starting at 43,000 rupees, which is quite steep, because if you see phones with similar specifications, they are available for much lesser. The Redmi K20 Pro sometimes is available for 25,000, Realme X2 Pro is around 30,000, then you've got the OnePlus 7T at around 35,000 rupees. So the Galaxy S10 Lite is definitely not a value for money phone. And even if you see the phones in this price segment, you get the Realme X50 Pro, you get the OnePlus 8, which are next generation devices. You get 5G, you get support for Snapdragon 865, potentially better battery life, faster charging. You've got, better cameras as well probably. So if you consider all of those things, the Galaxy S10 Lite is not a value oriented phone. But I can understand if you only want a Samsung phone, then Galaxy S10 Lite is your best bet. The performance on this phone is the best that you can get on any Samsung phone, because Snapdragon 855 is better than their newer Exynos chipsets as well. So if you only want a Samsung phone, the S10 Lite is a great option. And in fact, you have a couple of discounts also. So I'm checking the Samsung website right now, and here you can see that you get a flat 4,000 rupees off with HDFC card. And if you exchange your phone, you get an additional 3,000 rupees off. So that's roughly like 7,000 rupees of benefits right there. So maybe if you can avail that, then this might be a good value for money phone. But at 43,000 rupees, the price tag is a little bit steep. If you would ask me what phone would I pick, I'll probably go with OnePlus 8 or something like that. But that's my choice. And if you just want a Samsung phone and you don't want to buy OnePlus or Realme, I can completely understand that. And if that is the case, then I can recommend the Galaxy S10 Lite to you. So that concludes my thoughts about this phone. I'm really happy that Samsung chose to put a Snapdragon chipset inside, and I wish to see more Snapdragon phones from Samsung in the future. That's it for now. If you guys enjoyed watching it, then please like it. If you did not like it, press the dislike button twice. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, then please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will be back in the notifications very soon. Peace.